Alright then guys, welcome back to Every Kick. Now, this has been a bit of a delayed episode, guys. It should have actually gone live last. Well, this is basically 2 weeks worth of news in one, so expect a big video and very fast paced as well. I want to get through some of these headlines. If I don't elaborate, then you can have your say in the comment section on any of these topics down below, and I will put your comments in next week's episode. But to kickstart the episode today, I'm going to talk about Leroy Sané not making that Germany World Cup squad. Now, I'm going to start this as well with a little poll. It'd be great if you could do a poll on YouTube and actually put it on the video, if that makes sense. But anyway, guys, I want to know what you guys think. Would you have taken Leroy Sané, and if so, who would you have dropped him for? Let me know in the comment section down below, unless I somehow managed to put a poll up on the screen. And also Mo Salah seems to be alright being named in the squad, despite his injury suffered in the Champions League. Now, he didn't start Egypt's first game, however, did obviously make the bench. So good news, I think, for Liverpool and for Mo Salah, and also for Egypt and their chances of, success in this World Cup. Germany have appointed goalkeeper Manuel Neuer as their captain for the World Cup, obviously. Germany had a very, very shock game, I think it's safe to say, against Mexico. This was an interesting read. Doctors at the Massachusetts General Hospital say they have concluded after a comprehensive examination that Liverpool goalkeeper Loris Karius sustained a concussion during the Champions League final game against Real Madrid, of course, which saw Liverpool lose 3-1 to the defending reigning champions of the Champions League. Now, I do want to say with this, this will possibly crop up again, talk about that game and obviously certain incidents in that game, guys. I don't mean to drag this on. This is stuff that has been in the news now recently, and I will kind of get into it more as we go on and come across some of the other topics. There's been a big sort of backfire, and it's a very kind of like a shouting match between Liverpool fans, Real Madrid fans, and etc, etc. We've also seen in these last few weeks Darren Ferguson resign as manager of Doncaster Rovers. I almost said Manchester. And Swansea announced Graham Potter as their new manager and offer a compensation package to Östersunds, obviously, after approaching their manager and him leaving. I think basically, if he had a deal, a contract in place with Östersunds, Swansea probably paid the difference, which is a good. I think that's a bit of professionalism from the club. That's really, really good to see. Sometimes you'd have to see the manager, like Graham Potter, actually have to pay that himself, but Swansea have covered it, so fair enough. And it's I said this before, it's a real shame to see Swansea go down for me, because I love rivalry in the Premier League. I love derbies. I absolutely love derbies, and with Cardiff coming up, I think it would have been great to see a Welsh derby of Cardiff versus Swansea. I think that would have been just added a bit more heat to the Premier League, but unfortunately not meant to be. Maybe next season. Maybe, guys. Pep Guardiola has been given a 2-match ban, including 1 game suspension, following dismissal in Man City's Champions League game versus Liverpool, obviously where it all kicked off. Everything escalated, and Pep was a little bit naughty, to say at the least. Good to see the FA, who I think have come on in bounds, I must say. It's actually UEFA that have given this one my apologies there, but places, companies like the FA and UEFA have really come on, because usually they wouldn't touch a big name. I'm sorry, Man United fans, to bring this up, because I'm pretty sure Wenger's gotten away with a lot over the years as well, but Sir Alex Ferguson got away with so much back in the day. He really did, things that managers are now suspended for. So it's good to see finally the officials knuckling down on big names, because everybody, they've all got to be treated equally at the end of the day, despite the name and who they are and what they've won. At the end of the day, you break the rules, There should be no exception. So I'm all about that. And my boys, Arsenal, announced the signing of Stefan Lichtsteiner after his contract with Juve expired. A lot of this deal has seen like a 50-50 kind of sort of reaction from Arsenal fans. Now, people are mocking it, people are saying it's a good signing. I like this signing personally. If you want to see me give my own take on this in a separate video, let me know in the comment section down below, guys. But I obviously, as an Arsenal fan, I have a lot more to say about this than some of the other headlines. I think this is a great signing. Like, it's on a free. It's a player that's got bags of experience. Yes, he is old and he's not going to play every game for us, but that's why we've got Hector Bellerin at the end of the day. But we are now in a position. I think Hector's gotten away with murder for the past few seasons now because he's had no competition, no backup. Finally, Hector's got a bit of a backup here. Hector Bellerin's going to be seeing this and thinking, right, if I want to stay at Arsenal, I need to knuckle down. I need to really make sure I'm playing the best that I've ever played, because this guy can take me out the team if he wants to. And I think it's brilliant from Emery to do this, because I do think where Wenger lacked for so many years and every single season was putting too much faith, too much trust in his players, the likes of Ramsey. I mean, Ramsey's been kind of like a repaid trust, but look at what Ramsey went through to get back to where he is now. Like, he was amazing, obviously, then suffered the broken leg injury at Stoke. And then he saw a loan move out to Cardiff, came back, and you know, he scored an own goal for us against Newcastle. Don't know if you guys remembered that. He just went through. I mean, there was a point where it was like, I was very frustrated because I've always been a big admirer of Thomas Rosicky, and he was at the club at the time and he was playing pretty good, and it was getting to the point where Wenger was choosing Ramsey over him, and that would really annoy me because Rosicky would come on and absolutely change the game, and finally the game would Arsenal would play with more passion, more lively football, and he would influence that for me. And the fact that Ramsey kept being started was very frustrating for me, because I was like, what's going on? But at the end of the day, it's got Ramsey back to excuse me, guys, it's got Ramsey back to where he is now, which is great. But I do think in the past it has hindered Arsenal, because he's put, you know, the likes of Mertesacker, when Mertesacker had his bad patch and he kept playing him and Koscielny, and it's like, you've got to be in a position to say, look, book your ideas up, pull your finger out, or you're off, you know, at the end of the day, because we should, as a big football club, that's what you've got to have. You've got to have that depth, that when your big boys aren't performing, like your Ozils as well, to go, look, we're in a position now to actually bench you, Mesut, so if you don't start pulling your finger out, you know, that's what's going to happen. You're going to sit on that bench. So I think this is a great signing, and I think anybody else who thinks differently needs to just calm down a bit and just be like, look, we got him on a free at the end of the day. Just take that. And UEFA have banned Buffon for 3 matches for his comments that were made about the referee Michael Oliver following Juventus' defeat by Real Madrid in the Champions League. I think Buffon, what he said translated to something like, Oliver has a trash heart or something, a rubbish heart or something like that. Like, he's got no compassion, basically, because he sent Buffon off, and it was a shame. It really was a shame to see that. I really felt sorry in my heart for Buffon. But I think he said it in the heat of the moment. Gianluigi Buffon's actually since then come out and said he apologises about the comments that were made. Sorry, he was very hot-headed. It was all said in the heat of the moment. You know, they interviewed the guy literally moments after that happened. You've got to let the guy sleep on it, and you know, then maybe do the interview, and I think it would have been a different story. Porto defender Diogo Dalot completes his medical at Manchester United as well, a new signing for them. And West Ham announced that they will be signing the right back Ryan Fredericks from Fulham when his contract expires on the 1st of July. Now, that is a huge it's massive rivalry between Fulham and West Ham, so that's kind of mad. It's not as bad as West Ham and Millwall, I don't think, but still a bit of rivalry there. But yeah, after a very impressive a couple of seasons now from Fredericks. Rightly, a good move for him. I think it's a shame, really, because Fulham have been promoted, but if he feels it's better, I think it's going to be better money for him as well. So, yeah, good. I think it's a good signing for West Ham. Sergio Ramos hits back at Liverpool players and fans for abusive comments made about his performance in the Champions League final. When I watched the Champions League final in the pub live, and I saw this, and when Stella went off injured, I felt gutted for Liverpool. I really did, and I felt like it was definitely a plan of Real Madrid's for that to happen. I don't think they would ever want to sort of end his career or mean to do full harm to him, but I think they wanted him out of that game. I know for a fact that they definitely would have wanted him out of that game. Whether or not Ramos is a professional at the end of the day, and I've had chance to sort of think about it more and sort of anticipate both sides. I'm trying to give an unbiased opinion here. I think that at the end of the day, it's done now. There are Liverpool fans that are trying to ask for a replay and stuff. That's not going to happen. I'm sorry. There are moments in football where you win some and you lose some, and unfortunately for Liverpool, it wasn't their day. It simply wasn't their day at the end of the day. You got Karius performing like that, which I think if Salah was still on the pitch, it wouldn't have made much of a difference, to be honest. And I mean, you could come at me all you want and say, it would have made the hell of a difference. I just don't see it. I think with Karius playing like that and Bale playing like he did, Bale clearly had a chance to prove, and that was the game for him to do it in. And I just think, at the end of the day, Ramos is a professional. He's been playing at a top level now for a number of years. And I don't think Ramos would ever intentionally go out with the intent to hurt someone. It's not who he's not ever been that way, Ramos. They've obviously tried to rough Salah up a bit. I think maybe their intentions were for possibly anger Salah and get him to sort of jump back and try and get him sent off, kind of thing, try and get him in trouble. But I've seen it before. It's basically called shithousery, basically. That's a good name for it. Diego Costa does it to defenders, so the other way round. Giroud's done it before. Giroud likes to wind defenders up. He likes to, obviously with him being a big physical threat, Giroud kind of gets it both ways. I've seen Giroud kind of provoke defenders before. I've also seen Giroud, most of the time with Ollie, he is under, because he is a big threat. He gets pulled all the time. I think it was a game against Villa. I'm sure it was Villa or somebody similar. And literally every time Arsenal got a corner, there are two players holding Giroud by his shirt. And it's just how it is sometimes in football at the end of the day. And I think the best thing everybody can do now is just drop it. Just accept that it's happened. Salah's okay now. He's going to be okay for the next season at Liverpool. He's going to be okay for the World Cup as well. He's just, sort of healing nicely now. So I just think just kind of, let it slide now, guys. It's just been dragged on for too long, I think. And I think the Liverpool players hitting out at Ramos, they've got every right to be angry, don't get me wrong, but I think as professionals, you probably shouldn't really go that far with it. This has been another one that's really been grinding my gears lately. The whole Raheem Sterling situation. Now, Sterling, bless him, come out and said he insists his World Cup preparation has been unaffected. Guys, I'm on the verge of having a coughing fit here, so bear with me. Has been unaffected by criticism over his recent gun tattoo and late arrival to England's training base. Right, I think it's safe to say it's literally the world and Sterling, well, the rest of the world and Sterling versus the media and a few odd media idiots, Piers Morgan, and co as well. But leave the guy alone, for God's sake. He's got a tattoo of a gun on his leg. He's not actually said, go shoot people. He's not encouraged it. It's not a Nazi. It's not a swastika. It's not a... just leave the guy alone, for God's sake. Just support him. I mean, if you're not going to support him, then just leave him alone. Just ignore him. For crying out loud, the hate that this guy gets. I mean, I thought the media coverage around Ozil was harsh, but this guy gets it even worse. I feel so sorry for him, I really do. But I mean, he manages to laugh it off, and let's just hope, hope to God that he scores for England. I hope he scores some big goal for England. Just to shut the media up, because I think the whole country would be with him. Most of the decent people in the country would be with him anyway. And best of luck to Raheem, because just to shut this media up, it's just ridiculous over a gun tattoo. Absolutely pathetic by the media, really, really is. It makes me laugh now. But it must annoy him, because he must feel like anything that he does is under a massive magnifying glass, and that must be so hard to live your life by. Any choice that you make is gonna be judged by thousands of people. It's, well, if not maybe a million people. That's insane, isn't it, really? And Willian has said that he respects Antonio Conte's decision to leave him on the bench for Chelsea at times last season. Now, this sort of is controversial as to what recent reports have said. I've been reporting for a long time, based off numerous rumours saying that if Conte stays and remains as Chelsea manager, that Willian will be leaving the club because of obviously not getting that game time. However, it might not do, because just because he's said that he respects the decision doesn't mean that he doesn't want more game time. So I think if he does get offered more game time elsewhere, he will be leaving Stamford Bridge this summer. Obviously dependent on how Brazil do as well. He's obviously with the Brazilian national team. And yeah, I think it's an interesting one. It was reported that Mourinho wanted him to join Manchester United, so we could possibly be seeing that, guys, next season. Johnny Evans agrees to join Leicester City from West Bromwich Albion after the club met his £3.5 million relegation release clause. Didn't know he could do that, so basically Evans put in a release clause for if West Brom were to get relegated, he could leave the club. So unfortunate news for West Brom, but I think obviously the right move for Johnny Evans. I could actually see him kind of fitting in at Leicester as well. This was something that I hadn't really put into much consideration until I saw this headline, but Gareth Southgate has confirmed that Danny Rose has expressed some concerns about racism in Russia to his England teammates and the staff at the of the England squad. I hadn't really given this much consideration, but yeah, it has been bad. I know in Champions League games, when teams have played like Russian teams, and they've had to be played indoors because of racism from fans. I hope it doesn't go on. I think so far so good in terms of that front. I expected a lot of trouble this World Cup, but I've not witnessed much. The last in France, I mean, there was videos trending on Twitter of people in the street, Russian ultras, wasn't it, in the streets, and that was crazy. So I don't know if Putin's got everybody on the best behaviour or what exactly, or if the security is just absolutely on point. But yeah, I am glad to see that it's been so far so good, but it is early stages, obviously, at the moment. Pascal Gross signs a new contract with Brighton up until 2022, so he will be remaining at the club after an impressive season, to say, first promoted and remain to stay up. That's good from Brighton, and I'm really pleased to see. I've got a bit of a soft spot for Brighton. Just a little short story here. I usually have a bet. Obviously, I haven't bothered with the World Cup, but I usually, not massive gamble, just have what's called a coupon or an accumulator, where you pick so many teams that you think will win. and yeah, and I used to always back Brighton back in the Championship, and they very rarely let me down, so I'd continue to back Brighton, and yeah, they came close to winning me some good money in the last couple of years. And Spurs have extended the contract of Michel Vorm until 2019, so basically just added an extra year upon his contract. Obviously came from Swansea, was very, very decent at Swansea, and hasn't really played an awful lot for Tottenham, I don't think. Obviously you've got the likes of Lloris, and it's hard to drop Hugo Lloris when he's such a big, prolific goalkeeper. And I am actually surprised at this. I'm surprised that Vorm has stayed, because I think he could definitely get regular football at you know, like you look at the likes of Fulham that have just come up. I think he could definitely go there, play regularly for them. But teams upon that level, I think, or even like mid-table teams, you know, I think he'd definitely get in there. I think he's still a decent goalkeeper. I mean, someone like Everton, I think he'd play well for them, or like Leicester. But yeah, he's fair play to him, remaining loyal. That's pretty good. Good to see. It's nice to see it, but obviously it makes you think: is he bothered about playing, or is it just happy to get a fat wage, you know, and just sit on the bench? Manuel Lanzini, if you're wondering where he's been, for those of you who didn't know, did rupture his anterior cruciate ligament in Argentina training session just before the World Cup started. So best of luck to him on getting fit for the new season. He will be out of the World Cup, of course, now. Probably not going to see him until... I actually wouldn't be surprised if it was near Christmas time. ACL is a big one, and a nasty one as well at that. You know, even as an Arsenal fan, no injuries should be mocked, in my opinion. So get well soon, Manuel. And yeah, you know, I feel really gutted for him. Must be absolutely awful to miss such a big competition like the World Cup. You know, after being such a key man for West Ham, it's a shame. And after mass speculation and leaving everybody very, very confused, and Chelsea fans obviously on the verge of heart attack, Roman Abramovich has said that he has absolutely no interest in selling Chelsea, despite not renewing his visa. Chris Coleman, appointed head coach of Chinese Super League club, bear with me here, Hebei China Fortune, I think that is pronounced. I do apologise if I just butchered that. But basically, Big Chris has gone over to the Chinese Super League. Obviously, I felt sorry for him after obviously leaving Wales, the Welsh national team. I thought that was a big job to take on after Gary Speed, who was like a good mate of his as well. And then obviously he left there. Went on to Sunderland, won it, and hasn't been able to help them out, so it's a shame. But yeah, fair play to him. Something new, something different for him. Huge news for Watford as they signed Deulofeu from Barcelona for 11.5 million pounds on a 5-year deal. That is fantastic. A brilliant signing for Watford. Somebody who's not really come off the mark for Barcelona and just kind of been, you know, just loaned out. And yeah, he's done really well for Watford. A very good player for Watford. I think that's a brilliant signing for them. Obviously, had a loan spell there and really impressed. So yeah, it's good to see him get his permanent deal. Patrick Vieira announced as new manager of the League One club Nice after disappointing times more recently with New York City FC. Fulham have announced that they are interested in signing Callum Chambers from Arsenal. Whether or not that will be an initial loan move remains to be seen. Arsenal seem to be in talks to sign Lucas Torreira. Now this looks very, very solid at the minute. When it first came through, as most Arsenal transfer news, I'm just like, yeah, whatever, it's probably never going to happen. It looks pretty good. It's looking pretty solid at the minute. So, yeah, hopefully it can be confirmed soon. And congratulations to Ainsley Maitland-Niles, who has signed a new contract, big contract with the club, long term. A fantastic youth prospect. I'm really, really pleased for him. I was absolutely over the moon to see him get so much game time last season. I hope that Emery repays that. It's looking good. It looks like, I think Emery come out and said actually he's been really impressed with Ainsley, so fantastic news, brilliant player, and I'm really, really happy for him. It's so nice, can I just say, so nice to see people come through the youth academy like that and break through into the team. I love to see that. Really good stuff. Everton have expressed their interest in signing Hertha Berlin left-back Marvin Plattenhardt. Real Madrid appoint the Spain manager, Julian Lopetegui, as new head coach there, and obviously he has now had his contract with Spain terminated. And Huddersfield have signed Ramadan Sobhi from Stoke City on a 3-year deal. Wolves look set to sign Mexico forward Raul Jimenez on a season-long loan from Benfica. Bennett Kofobi joins Stoke on loan. Very, very surprised to see this. I was really happy to see him come back into the Premier League with Wolves, and then it was like he's going on loan to Stoke. He will score some goals for Stoke, it is safe to say. Absolutely 100%. I think the Stoke fans will fall in love with him. He does very, very well in the Championship. Atletico Madrid reach a preliminary agreement to sign winger Thomas Lemar, or Thomas Lemar, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, from Monaco. A great signing for Atletico Madrid, actually, who have also announced that Griezmann will also be staying with them as well for another season at least. Fulham are in talks to sign Jordan Ayew from Swansea. West Ham are in advanced talks to sign goalkeeper Lucas Fabianski from Swansea, obviously after Joe Hart being not so impressive still. Could mean that Joe will be on the move again, possibly. Some news that I am very personally happy with. I want to get this guy on the back of my Arsenal shirt next season. Absolutely love him to bits. Granit Xhaka has signed a new long-term deal at Arsenal and has been labelled an important player by the new boss, Unai Emery. Brilliant. Love it. Absolutely buzzing. I love this guy. Just love his passion, commitment. He's everything that I would like Wilshere to be honest, and more. I think a definite future captain of this club. Hoping that he does stay, of course. And the big man delivering on a very, very important day. When doesn't he, though? I mean, I don't really like the guy because of his personality. But you can't take away the fact that he is a fantastic player, an absolute legend, an icon of the game. One of the best in the world. Arguably the best. Cristiano Ronaldo scores a hat-trick as Portugal draw 3-3 with Spain. Unreal. The free kick goal that he scored was just wow. Absolutely amazing. I mean, when he is as old as he is now and he's still turning up in games like that, that is just phenomenal. Mexico produced the shock of the World Cup so far as Lozano's goal beat the reigning champions in Moscow. Just a 1 goal in that game. 1-0 versus Germany. Absolutely insane. Credit to Mexico and Lozano, though. Huge letdown from the whole of the German national team. I've noticed again, Ozil's become a bit of a scapegoat. Everybody's saying he didn't turn up. Mate, listen, the whole flipping German team didn't turn up. Don't get on Mesut's back. The lot of them didn't turn up for that game. And last but not least, guys, Southampton and Leicester City agreed fees for Norwich City midfielder James Maddison, who, again, sparked high interest after an impressive season. Guys, that brings me to the end of this video. I hope you'll have enjoyed it. I apologise about how long it is. Just bear in mind how much bloody news I've had to cram in to this video. And I've tried to elaborate on some as well, because I don't want it just to be me just reading the headlines and that be it. I want to try and give some comments, thoughts, opinions, try and get yours in as well in the comment section. But yeah, thank you all very much for watching. Hope you all have enjoyed. If you have, make sure you smash the thumbs up button. Guys, please do subscribe. We hit 2k and then we keep dropping down to 1999 and then going back to 2k, and it's just keeps falling and dropping. So hit that subscribe button, guys, if you're not already subscribed, and I will see you all in the next video.